Thank you all that have joined us this afternoon. It's early afternoon for some of you possibly, but I want to introduce y'all to our presenters who are here today to share with us Join the Flock, 3 ways to build JiJi culture through social media. So we have Kelsey Kidwell. It says Skaggs on the screen still, but just Kelsey, that's all she needs. She's well known by that. Parker Erickson is with us as well. And then Jean Denass.
And Danae.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry about that. I should have practiced that one ahead of time. But I'm going to hand it over to them. Please engage with the conversation as we go through this afternoon. I'll be monitoring the chat and make sure that they answer all of your questions. And like they said, share and let's engage in social media through the Twitter hashtag as well. All right, it's all yours.
Thank you. And just a quick shout out to Sandra. She's a rock star with the ST Math Texas team. She's always doing great content and she's always amplifying our content too. So huge shout out to Sandra. If you're not following her, please do so. If you want to drop your handle in the chat, Sandra, please do so too. All right, well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Flock. As you become more immersed in all things ST Math, you'll quickly see that our online community is full of amazing creators that love to celebrate JiJi culture all year long. So we have a great presentation for you today. We're going to go over some fun examples on how you can get your content off the ground and then also just have some fun with it. So let's go to the next slide. So this presentation is all about JiJi culture and social media. So first, we want to just get a general idea of what JiJi culture means to us. So I'm Parker Erickson. I'm the content and community specialist at Mind, as Sandra mentioned. And JiJi culture to me is having no fear. My father is an electrical engineer by trade, so I grew up in a very mathematical household, but I'm more of a right brain person, or at least that was kind of the messaging that I received as a child. So I tend to avoid math. But as I have come to learn at Mind Research Institute, that is completely false. Anyone can be a math person. It's all about just not having that fear and just embracing the productive struggle.
I'm Kelsey Skaggs Kidwell, and I'm the communications manager here at Mind. And JiJi culture to me really means it's okay to fail. And that took me a really long time in life to learn. I remember in 2nd grade doing minute math, not sure if that's still a thing, but I wasn't quick enough and I would get done and not having completed my minute math and I would cry, working that out in therapy. But once I got to Mind Research Institute as an adult, we have such a culture of it's okay to fail. We're going to fail fast and then we're going to get back up and learn to do it the right way because of feedback. And that's what ST Math is. I think it's so cool that there is a program that lets kids know it's okay to fail. You're going to get it. Keep trying.
Hi, I'm Jen Danae, and I'm in Amesbury, Massachusetts, and I'm the K-8 STEM coach. And JiJi culture to me is supporting students to solve the most challenging problems in the world. So I really like to be able to teach students that have a growth mindset and to be able to solve word problems creatively and any type of problem creatively. So I like JiJi to be the star of a STEM day, of any type of word problem, so that students are making the connections between ST Math and how to apply that to the real world. So JiJi culture to me simply is celebrating student successes and having them use those successes to fuel solving more challenging problems.
Wonderful, wonderful. So before we move on to the next slide, we'd love to hear from our audience. What does JiJi culture mean to you? Please type your answer in the chat in a couple words or less. Let's see, got the chat window open. Never give up. Awesome, Liz, absolutely. Persevering. Growth mindset, totally agree. Anyone else? All good answers. Embracing change, I love that. Thinking differently than others, absolutely. All correct answers, and that is absolutely the essence of what JiJi culture is. It's really having that can-do attitude and persevering in those novel situations. Throughout your academic career, students are going to find these new and these challenging problems, and it might be scary at first, but the main point is to try to keep persevering and moving through those challenges. Embracing productive struggle, that is key to our pedagogy, really knowing that you can learn from your mistakes and having that growth mindset. Absolutely, Kenyetta.
All right, so now we're really getting into it. 3 ways to build JiJi culture. And if I had one piece of advice for you for this session, it would be that we are going to throw so much information at you. Over here at ST Math, it's mine and Parker's job to create all kinds of fun ways for you to build JiJi culture and community in your classroom and in your school and district. And so there's going to be so much today, but if you can just find 1 or 2 takeaways that you can implement starting today, that'll set you up for success. So that's what I would focus on in between all of the different things you're going to learn. So of course, we've got 3 tangible ways for you to build JiJi culture through social media. We're going to join the conversation, find shareable moments, and stay connected. Here's how we're going to do that, starting with joining the conversation. All right, so I love this. We're everywhere when it comes to social media. We are on all the channels that you can think of. And so here are the main ones. And you may not be on all of these. You may not be an active user on Instagram or LinkedIn, and that's okay. We want to meet you where you're at. So if you're already using Facebook, we're on Facebook. Go ahead and follow us. And while you're on there checking out what Aunt Susie is up to, you're probably also going to get a post on your feed from ST Math. So you'll be able to check out what's going on with us over here and maybe take that back into your classroom. So feel free to follow us on all of these channels. I would definitely encourage that. I would love that. But whatever channels you're already using, that's where we want you to join the ST Math community. Another great way to stay involved in our community is to subscribe to our blog. We have a fantastic blog. I think we're at 3,600 subscribers, right, Parker? Only one of them is my mom. So we would love to keep growing those subscribers. When you get to our blog page, and we'll share our slides after this presentation, or you can go to mindresearch.org, and in the top right corner, there's a link to our blog. And the very top box has a little box where you can enter your email address in and subscribe. If you do that, you're going to get an email every Tuesday or Wednesday with a roundup of all the blogs that have happened in the last week. And so I really love to go through it just as I'm having my lunch or coffee in the morning. I'll kind of sit down and go through and find out what's going on out there with the ST Math community. Lots of great resources and best practices, and a little fun too. Sometimes our blogs are just going to make you smile, but most of the time you're going to learn something great about ST Math from them. Parker.
All right. So next is about finding shareable moments, and these are all around you. This is where you can really become creative. And so these that we listed right here are just some suggestions to get your content strategy started. So first and foremost, classroom culture. What are the fun and unique things that you're doing as a teacher in the classroom to keep your kids engaged, not only with just ST Math, but just engaged with school, especially during a time like this? Also, student usage is huge. ST Math, we typically run 3 national usage challenges each year. We have some fun themes. They're usually linked to a holiday, but also teachers do tons of contests independently. And we love seeing these when we go on social media and we're just finding those fun tweets and just really encouraging students to really engage with the program. Also celebrations, it's really important to highlight all those milestones that your students are achieving, whether it be some of the certificates that you're getting off of our help site. There's tons of free printables that you can use immediately. Or if you're having a fun like pajama party to celebrate a class milestone, there's really tons of opportunities for you to use social media to highlight those fun moments. And when you are doing these fun moments and you're posting them on social media, we want to know about it. So keeping us posted is huge. It's really easy to do that. All you need to do is make sure that you tag our brand at ST Math, whether it be Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. That's really key because Kelsey and I, we're constantly on those apps in the feed. When we see something great, we can retweet it. We can give it some love and, and alert our colleagues about what's going on. So make sure that you type ST Math in your captions. Also, hashtags are key for discoverability. So if you forget to, tag us using the @sign, you can always just do hashtag @ST Math. Also, if you're in a certain state, use ST Math with the state abbreviation. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, Sandra is awesome with getting her schools and her districts tons of love from the ST Math community by using the hashtag STMathTX. And then also Jen, who's presenting right now, always uses the hashtag STMathMA for all her friends in Massachusetts. Jen.
All right, so I'm here to talk about some social media that I use, and one of them is Instagram. And just like Parker said, I use all the hashtags, all the @ when I'm on there, so I'm more discoverable and people can find the post. And I use Instagram more for my students and my families, and for obviously companies as well. Because I'm a K-8 STEM coach, some of my upper elementary students are on Instagram, so they're really excited to see themselves on Instagram. And then for my younger students, the parents are really excited to see them on there. And what I love about Instagram is that it's only up there for 24 hours, so it is not permanent. So I love to be able to post different pictures on there. And what's really cool about Instagram is a lot of people will reshare what your story, because it's only 24 hours. So I know I don't use a post a lot on Instagram, and I don't see a lot of people using posts. Normally people will post their story that lasts 24 hours. And some of the reasons I'll use Instagram is when I'm having a big celebration day. So for instance, earlier this year, I did a STEM day. It was a construction day about structure and function. And JiJi was our star. So we had to make a house for JiJi in Amesbury, Massachusetts, where it could withstand a tornado. So our K-4 students in one of our elementary schools did that. And I was trying to Instagram and make those stories all day of kids doing different things on that construction day. So we got a lot of parents involved in it because they were excited to see their students on there. Some other reasons I really like Instagram is because you can add gifts and make it a little bit more fun on there. So it's really fun to make them look cool. And what I really love about Instagram too is you don't have to write anything. You can just put those pictures up. You can put multiple pictures up. You can do tons of stories on it, because it is a story. So once you post something saying like it's STEM day, the rest of the story, everyone knows what you're talking about. So I just posted today on Instagram, and I put words and I messed up the words. So I'm like, oh, why did I even think about putting these words on here? So that's some of the reasons I use it. We have a JiJi day coming up, which I know I'll use it. So sometimes I'll do it for announcements. Sometimes I'll do it like with silly things happening in the classrooms with my math teachers and my science teachers, but mainly for big days when there's tons of pictures to put out. It's really cool to put them on Instagram, especially because, like I said, they only last 24 hours. The one I use actually the most though before Instagram is Twitter. I use Twitter all the time. I use it for announcements. I use it for bright spot moments for my teachers. I always will highlight them and put a little reasons why I'm highlighting them. And the uses for Twitter are more about, there are families on there, not a lot of students, but there's a lot of other teachers on Twitter. So when I'm putting things and I'm hashtagging and adding them and people are resharing my posts, I then can be discoverable by other teachers, and I can build that network of teachers to see what they're doing. So like on this page, you can kind of see like, I can learn from a teacher in Texas. I can learn from another teacher in Massachusetts, just through doing the hashtags and posting my content. So me posting content will get other teachers to post content. I'll post contests on there. Like right now we're doing, with the national one, we're doing Waddle to 1 million puzzles because we're very close to 1 million puzzles. So I'm posting on there all our flyers about it. I'm posting like, are we getting close? So I'll post videos on there. And what I really like about Twitter too is this time you can write, and you got to make sure that you're grammatically correct when you do that. And I always make sure to put pictures with it because that kind of grabs people's attention too. So when you're on Twitter, you can only put up to 4 pictures. So big events, like I said, the JiJi day could be a little bit more difficult because you got to keep making different posts for it. And that's why Instagram kind of works better for that. But I still will post some of those big events as well for that. So I'm trying to think of anything else I wanted to say about that. Oh, what I really like about Twitter too is, for whatever reason, teachers get really excited about it. Like, so when I shout out the teachers, I had one teacher like emailing me saying how excited she was just because I shouted her out with her bulletin board on Twitter. So they get teachers get really excited because they're showing that positive reinforcement. The teachers are excited about it. So using Instagram and Twitter in those ways, just not to shout the students, but the teachers, I know really helps speed up that morale.
Thanks, Jen. Moving on to Facebook, which I have a real soft spot for here at ST Math. So on no other social media channel are you going to find as curated content for our ST Math educators and administrators as you will find on our Facebook page and in our Facebook groups. So Facebook is a little trickier. Obviously, if you're posting content about what's happening in your classroom or anything about ST Math on your own page, That is wonderful. All of your friends are seeing it, but usually we're not going to be able to see that because you have to be connected on Facebook to other people. You have to have that friendship. So here are some great places where you can interact with ST Math on Facebook. So first of all, there's our page where we have just a running list of either a blog post that's going out, some resources, best practices. But what I really enjoy about Facebook is our Facebook user groups. We have one for ST Math Homeschool if you happen to be using that with your own students or children at home. But for most of the audience here today, you are going to want to join our ST Math School user group. And that's just a great place where you can go. And if you have a question, even some frustrations about ST Math, some challenges, I love our Facebook user community because oftentimes ST Math colleagues will be in there answering your questions. But it's not just that. Sometimes you're going to get someone like Jen, who is an ST Math super user, and she's going to say, I had this exact challenge too. Let me tell you how I worked through it. And for me, it is so fun to pop into those groups and see that happening. Of course, I'm in there to answer any questions, but often when I get in there, they're already being answered by someone else in our community. And I just love that. It's a really nice feeling. Moving on to LinkedIn, which is definitely a channel that has had so much growth for our organization and ST Math over the past year. Many thanks to Parker. But this is a fun channel for us because we do talk a lot about our nonprofit social impact work, but there are still great ST Math resources going on here too. And more than that, we're looking to all of you educators that we're connected with to see how's your day going? What's going on in your own professional career? And so, fun fact, this is also a great place where Parker and I look for guest bloggers. You can contribute to our blog. We love educator perspectives, profiles on how your classroom is doing. And so often we turn to LinkedIn when we're looking for opportunities like that. So whatever's going on in your classroom, ST Math-wise, LinkedIn is a great place to share it to and really make it personal to your own career. Share out what's going right. All right, Parker, let's talk TikTok.
All right, let's talk about TikTok. So this is a new platform that we're currently growing. And if you're not following us already, I highly recommend that you do so. This is a really fun area where we can just be very creative. We have tons of TikTok challenges, ST Math activities. So if you're not following us, please do so. And, you know, we're also looking for user-generated content yourself. So if you're an active TikTok user, make sure to tag us whenever you're talking about our brand on TikTok. Also, another great way to stay connected, and we mentioned this earlier, are our usage challenges. Like I said, we typically run about 3 each year, usually connected to some type of theme or holiday. These are some screenshots from the current one that we're running, which is the ST Math Winter Waddle. And Jen is participating. It's a lot of schools are already sending us screenshots of their dashboard, but essentially this is to motivate students and to get that JiJi culture really moving within your classroom. Just some logistics on this type of challenge. If you haven't heard of it, if you want to jump on the bandwagon, it's a lot of fun. The only requirement is a 50 puzzles or more average per week. All you need to do is just take a screenshot of your ST Math user dashboard and then upload that to either Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you tag ST Math and then use the hashtag Winter Waddle. So more to come. We typically also do like a fall challenge as well when the beginning of the school year starts. But also, like we mentioned at the beginning of the presentation too, if you have a great idea of a challenge you want to, give to your students just to get that, puzzle and minutes, all those metrics up, feel free to do so.
Okay, so Instagram takeovers. So I actually was the first person ever to do an Instagram takeover for ST Math, and I will hold that title with pride. And the reason that I was the first one is because Parker and Kelsey found me on Instagram and Twitter just by me posting and tagging and doing all that stuff. So if I'm going to talk about, doing the @ST Math or hashtag ST Math, you could be found by Parker and Kelsey, and who knows, maybe it'll be the next one to do one of the Instagram takeovers. And what was so fun about the Instagram takeover is that I had a ton of freedom to do what I wanted. And I was able to get all my teachers, my parents, my students, my administrators all on board. And the way I did that was before the Instagram takeover, I reached out to my teachers and I asked them to make videos. I said, can you make me a video of why you love ST Math? And then I individually went to other teachers that I knew did some great things in their classrooms around ST Math, because we made this a big district-wide thing. And I said, you know what, I really love your ST Math 100 Club. Do you mind making a quick video about that? And I'm going to put it on the ST Math national page. And we have a lot of people that want to be social media influencers out there. So they were all excited that I could put their video out on the Instagram Takeover Day. So then I reached out to telling students that, and again, especially students, they want to be on that social media. They want to be those influencers. So their students are so excited. K to 8, they all were excited about it. And so then the parents were excited. I was getting emails from parents being like, please put my kid on there. So then we were able to get a lot of flow to our district pages, to the ST Math pages. And then going into it, I did clues, since there's a national page, of like, where do you think we're coming from? And, like, we're wicked cold over here. So the students are really excited. I think they were messaged in being like, we're so excited, I can't wait. So it was really cool to be able to make that type of content. I made content too about videos of things we do in my district. So we do a lot of ST Math escape rooms with our students. We do a clue game with our students. So I talked about that there, so other teachers could kind of learn from that. One of my favorite videos I did was about a zip line relay, where we have students do different questions and they get materials as they answer the questions, and they get to take those materials to make a zip line, and we use JiJi again as our star for that. So that was really fun. And then, the other thing that was really cool is the administrators were really excited. At one of my schools, we did a reel of throwing JiJi, because my ST Math champion at that school really wanted to do a reel. And my principal brought me up to the roof because he wanted to throw the JiJi off the roof to make that, like, a really cool video. So I highly suggest looking into doing an Instagram takeover, or do your own Instagram takeover for a day, because it got tons of excitement. Students are super excited. And like I said, you got a lot of freedom, and it just brought that excitement back in. So like when I feel like when you're losing momentum with ST Math, doing some big event really helps bring that enthusiasm back, and the students are really excited to solve those puzzles. I can tell you, I'll put another plug in for that waddle to the winter waddle, because my students are so excited because we're doing raffle prizes with it too. So they're trying to get raffle tickets. They're really excited about it. So it really brought back the enthusiasm that you kind of lose sometimes with the holidays. So yeah.
I had never considered throwing JiJi off the roof, Jen. So I know JiJi can't fly.
As long as they can catch it, as long as someone catches it on the bottom.
Okay, all right. Make sure you have someone to catch JiJi. JiJi cannot fly. All right, thank you, Jen. Okay, even more ways to stay connected with Mind and with ST Math. So for those of you that don't know, we have a podcast here at Mind. We are actually on our second season currently, which means there's a whole first season of episodes to dig into. So I really like to listen to a podcast when I'm working out or walking my dog or eating lunch. So those are great times if you're feeling like you need a little entertainment and don't know where to turn. Pull up our podcast that you can find on our blog on mindresearch.org. And you're going to hear so many great things, not just about ST Math, but probably a lot of things that you didn't know about Mind Research Institute and where ST Math is based too. Lots of research projects that we're doing, interviews with our social impact partners, so many good things. Also staying connected with math activities. So you're going to find a lot of these on our TikTok and Instagram channels. But the engagement team over here that does marketing, we've been having a lot of fun with our pets and our children and each other. We drag our husbands and spouses into it. And we just sort of take math activities and turn them into really digestible, quick videos. And when you're looking at those videos, oftentimes they are quick, easy things that you can implement in your own math lessons and classrooms as well. So make sure that you check those out. And more videos, we have been doing a lot of live streams this year. So sometimes we have our product team on there talking about what's coming up with ST Math, what's new, but we also like to have a lot of fun with our live streams as well. So we have an upcoming live stream to look out for in the month of February called Creative Minds, where we are going to invite all of you to invite your students and children to come and do really creative projects with us. I think the first one slated is learning how to draw JiJi and other ST Math characters. characters. So just a really fun way to learn how math is embedded in so many different things that we do, especially when it comes to the creative arts. We all know STEAM, arts is in there for a reason. And so these live streams are a really fun way for us to connect math back to all these creative things that we're doing. And we have a lot of creative people here at Mind Research Institute, so I'm so excited for our colleagues to take over these live streams and just share that creativity with you. All right, I know we're coming to the end here, which means we're at my favorite part, some questions and answers. And because we have our ST Math super user Jen on this call, we definitely wanted to give you all time to ask her questions, ask us questions. But Jen, you've already shared so many best practices and resources, but is there anything else that you wanted to add, just what you enjoy about the ST Math community and maybe drawing on some of the things that we've already talked about?
I think just getting ideas. So like all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you can get so many different ideas from different educators out there. I know we've been getting ideas with bulletin boards. So we get hype in the schools around the bulletin boards. And one thing I've noticed about the bulletin boards is this year especially is the more interactive they are, the more the kids love them and want to go into them. Like I know at my middle school, we just made one that's like wings. So the kids get really excited to go to put themselves in the wings for that in front of JiJi. And then we have some other teachers doing like number lines where the kids get to move them every day. So having those interactive number lines, but then I got a lot of those ideas we got from other educators that were out there. We maybe modify those ideas a little bit.
I love that. And Jen, you already spoke a little bit to how to get, we know you're an ST Math super user and you are all over Twitter and Instagram, you're very easy to find. But just sort of sharing that culture within your district and within your school, sort of getting your principals and fellow teachers excited about JiJi culture.
So one way I did that is, so at each of our schools, we have 3 schools, 2 elementary schools and a middle school. I have an ST Math champion at each of those schools. So they really help me and I meet with them bi-weekly to kind of talk about ways to kind of re-inspire some of our teachers that might not be making those minutes and puzzles. So we, like last year we did a 1 in a million day because we met 1 million puzzles as a district. This year we're waddling to 1 million because we're going to actually meet it this week. So you might see some posts that we are making it to 1 million puzzles. So any way that I can get a big event that gets the students excited, that makes kind of the teachers have to be excited about it because it's kind of like, I want to get some raffle tickets. I want to win this and I want to waddle. And so just kind of bringing it into the culture and getting people excited about it. And also just going to teachers. Like, I feel like I had talked about the Instagram takeover. Like I went individually to teachers that I saw doing some great practices to kind of amplify that and say, I loved how you did this. Can we bring a video to that? The waddle to 1 million where I asked for videos of teachers waddling. So then I went to teachers, I went to my superintendent, can you make me a waddling video for this video? So it kind of makes them have to bring in themselves in the culture. And then when the video comes out, they're like, oh, there we are. So they get kind of excited about that.
That's awesome. And Jen, I have one more question for you before we throw it to our audience members here. And so we know that social media can be really overwhelming at times. There are so many different channels, so much content, so much that you can be doing. So think back to the day when you were first getting started posting ST Math content. And what's one super easy way that our audience members who maybe, we might have some super users on here, we might have some people that are just getting started. What's your one piece of advice for people that are getting started?
I would pick one social media. So my first social media was Twitter. And that's why I'm still big on Twitter, because I understand Twitter the most. So go to Twitter or go to Instagram, whatever one you're most comfortable with, go to Facebook and just post on that and start really simple. Like Parker had said in the beginning of the session, just post your usage. Do the waddle to 1 million. The winter waddle, I get confused between my contests. So do the winter waddle, start there. And then once you start seeing other people's content, you might say, you know what, you have this great bulletin board. I'm going to take a picture of that. So start small, start on one social media, and then you can build your presence as you keep going.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Jen.
What's your favorite platform, Jen?
Twitter, for sure. for educational content. For educational content, I think that's my easiest one.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Sandra, have we gotten any questions in the chat, or would anyone like to put a question in the chat? We've
No
gone over a
questions
lot
so
today.
far, but let's take them.
All right.
Yeah, either drop it in the chat or feel free to unmute yourself.
And while we're waiting, I just want to reiterate, I know Parker said this at the beginning, but we're so thankful for you being here today, not just at the user conference, but at this session in particular. It means that you're really excited about ST Math and you want your students to feel that way too. So like the slide says, we want to make your ST Math experience a slam dunk. And you can always get to Parker and me on social media. If you're tagging ST Math, if you're using that at ST Math, we're going to see it, whether you have a question, whether you just want to give us a little shout out, and we can tell you what a great job that you're doing. Social media is a great way to interact with our ST Math.
So there is a question, where are we placing your slide deck? Have you put it into Whova? There's a lot of great information in here they want to visit again.
Yes, so many great links in our presentation. We will definitely upload that to Whova just after we finish here. And you will be receiving more information after the conference today from our ST Math colleagues. And so look out, because that'll have links to all the different resources we've shared here today too.
And I try to capture some of them and put them into the chat. So I put the Waddle blog post from Twitter in the chat, the blog just in general, just put that there so that you can go back. Looks like I may not have captured the right one for that. Maybe I did. I don't know. May have to fix that one. Yeah. Here's the correct blog one. Sorry about that.
No
and then I put the Facebook page in there as well. So
right. I think
quick
if you
access.
find our ST Math account on Twitter, that should be our pinned tweet all about the winter waddle if you're interested in joining that contest.
I just pinned it. I just put it twice that way. Double traffic, right?
Thank you. Great. So I don't think we've ever finished a presentation early in our lives, Parker. This is really exciting. So I'm happy to hang out. Parker and Jen will stay with me if anyone wants to stay on and ask some questions or keep putting them in the chat. But otherwise, we hope you have a really good rest of your user experience here at the conference. I think we've got our finishing keynote next, Twana Young. She's amazing. Sandra, I'm so sorry. I feel like I'm taking over your job. So
nope. Please go ahead.
So we're so thankful that you joined us for this session.
Oh, thank you, Shanash.
All right, we'll just hang out. I'm going to pull up the chat. I was sharing my screen, so I didn't even get a chance to look at it. Oh, yeah, thank you, Shanash. Thank you, Alexandra.
Jen is asking for some new followers, so drop in your.
We'll get them. We might as well start doing it.
Right.
Grow those followers, Jen.
Jen, mine's at the very top. I don't know if you captured it earlier, but I just followed you, so you'll see it when you log in.
I'm checking my phone right now. Beautiful.
Speaking of social media, oh, sorry, go for it, Parker.
That's okay. Just while everyone's still on the line, does anyone have any like apprehension to social media? Anything that we can talk about, or if anyone's concerned, anything that we can do to assuage those concerns? Everyone's on board? Love it.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Kenyatta?
I am fine. Oh, it's like it's me, King at the house. But a question I had was, we are getting ready to send this and take this to where we're sharing it and kind of like, hey, we're coming. The idea was like, did you have any schools like that had any pushback against sharing out their campus, and maybe like we're trying to get the momentum like JiJi's coming, JiJi's coming. Did you have any pushback with campuses as far as sharing it out or attaching it, or maybe participating in any suggestions or best practices for that?
You know, that's a really great question. What we recommend from ST Math is that you follow your district's social media policy. They should have one available to you. In our experience, many of the schools and teachers are always very, accommodating to making sure that, the proper releases are signed. But in my experience, schools have been nothing or very ecstatic about joining the conversation and posting on social media. What about you, Kelsey? Have you ever run into that with your experience?
It's a good question. I think, right, two separate issues here. One is running into actual social media policies where it's like we're hesitant to share our school. We're a little more closed in here. We don't want anything, not just ST Math, but anything on social media. And so that's something really to talk to your district's communications team about, see if they're willing to grow that. So separate issue there. I think the one that we run into most often is just not so much like lack of excitement for ST Math coming to a school, but just why is this important? And like, why should we be sharing it? There's so much going on. Like, why does this stand out? And I think just bringing it back to that JiJi culture and saying, we know it's a supplemental math program, we're all using it. And so there's a lot of programs here, but this is all about building a really robust math culture. We want kids to be excited to become problem solvers. We want kids excited about math. We know that it's a challenge out in the world. A lot of people think I'm not a math person. We had a session about that earlier this morning. So really just having those frank conversations with your district and with your fellow educators and sort of rallying everyone around, hey, like, let's try to build this awesome math culture at this school. We can do it. We can be examples for other schools out there in our district or out there in the world. And sharing on social media definitely helps with that.
Kelsey, I can add to that a little bit too. I know in my district, some best practices are we have a no photo list. So I always make sure when I go to a classroom, I say, who's on the no photo list to make sure not to take those photos. And then when I post, I normally will not put students' names. And if I put their student names, it's usually just the first name. I never put the student's full name, or some ways to make sure that you're not going against some social media policies.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for your question.
Once you hit past all of this guidelines and regulations in your district, I'm putting a link here for you for some JiJi posters to welcome JiJi to your campus too.
Oh, thank you, Sandra. I know we have assets like that too. That's a great way to start up.
I'm like past the regulations. Let's just celebrate JiJi coming. Here we go.
JiJi is coming. It's so exciting. All right, I know we've got just a few more minutes here. Make sure you check out that closing session for our user event. Oh, thank you for linking the poster, Sandra. Oh. I'm gonna leave my mouse alone. All right. Thanks again, everyone, for joining us. If you need a few extra minutes on top of your break to grab a snack, use the restroom, anything you need like that, feel free.